there, Chang. My name is Ellen, and I will be correcting this for you today. Let's take a look at what you've written here. I see that you supplied your own topic. Health problems, eating too much fast food. We must impose a higher tax. Let's see what you said. Okay. It is true that excessive consumption of fast food contributes to health problems for people in contemporary society. In order to cope with this problem, some people argue that governments should increase the tax on fast food. Okay, it should be on. Increase tax on something. In my point of view, I partly agree with this statement since I believe that the authorities could take more useful measures to resolve this problem. All right, that's very good. I like this. And I'm really interested to see more. Let's see what you said. On the one hand, I recognize that imposing higher tax on fast food may reduce the frequency of fast food consumption. However, the outcome of improving people's health is limited. The frequency of eating junk food may drop for low and middle income groups due to raising costs, but it does not deter the rich from consuming it because they could afford pricey food. Okay. As a result, imposing more tax on junk food has marginal effects on improving health because wealthy people may overeat fast, unhealthy food continuously. Additionally, imposing higher tax on fast food may pose a threat to people who live in poverty. Generally speaking, fast food at affordable prices and therefore fast food is available at affordable prices, and therefore many low-income families rely heavily on it. If fast food is no longer a good value for money, they may lose an important food source and suffer from starvation. Okay, I really like that last sentence. That's great. Okay, I like this. I do want to read it one more time because I saw that there was one sentence, there was one section that I had some questions about. So give me a second to just do that. Been rising costs and not raising. All right. So it may drop for low income and middle income families due to rising costs. And this should have continued as one sentence, but it would not deter the rich from consuming it. I didn't like this for some reason. They could afford pricey food. Let's see, what else could you have said here that would have been a little clearer? It would not deter the rich from consuming it because maybe you could have said price is not a factor for them. You could have said the higher price is not a deterrent. So something like that would have made more sense. And then here I also would have fixed it. As a result, imposing more tax on junk food has marginal effects on improving health because wealthy people will not be overly affected by higher costs for junk food. So something like that. I just wanted a little clearer what you were trying to say here. So it wasn't really 100% clear. So I would have liked to see some minor changes. All right, so let's continue with that. Next paragraph. On the other hand, I believe that there are many useful and practical methods that governments could implement. To begin with, governments could encourage fast food industry. Hold on. Let's clean up the grammar here. To begin with, governments could encourage the fast food industry to provide healthier food to customers by giving subsidies. For example, fast food restaurants receive financial support from governments if they substitute natural food, such as fruit and vegetables, for unhealthy food which contains large amounts, with an S, of sugar and fat. This is a superb means to offer nutritious and affordable food to for people in need. Moreover, governments, you're making suggestions here. So governments could introduce legislation to ask fast food restaurants to label food ingredients. If people have a comprehensive understanding of what they consume, they may choose food that boosts their health. So this was really good, except I saw that you had more grammatical mistakes than you did in the previous paragraph. So you want to be careful about those. You want to aim for a little higher accuracy, okay? All right. So in conclusion, overeating fast food damages, with an S, people's health, although I recognize that increasing tax in junk food may have some help. No, may provide some help to prevent people from consuming too much. I firmly believe that governments should take more efficient methods to keep people healthy with a Y here. Okay, you need the adjective form. All right, so this is very nice. I liked it. Some little things. I saw that the accuracy declined in the second half of the essay. You don't want that to happen because that's the impression that the examiner is going to be left with. So you want to definitely finish strong. On the whole, though, I liked it. I thought you did a very good job, and I am looking forward to seeing your task one. Okay, so let's see what you had to say here. Southland's exports. All right, 2 times in the past. International tourism, dairy products, and meat products. Okay. The bar chart compares 3 key exports in Southland in 2000 and 2022. It also indicates future projections for 2025. Overall, comma here, careful, I don't know what happened, comma, the international tourism will become the dominant industry, okay, in 2025, although the dairy exports will remain strong the same year, dairy exports, okay. Also, it is clear that the revenue of meat exports is lower than the other 2 products for export in the past, present, and future. Okay. So what I'm finding here is not quite the precision that I saw in your previous answer, in your task 2. First of all, there is no reason to use a the in front of the international tourism, and the same thing for the dairy exports. It should have just said overall international tourism, and wouldn't have just said will become. I would have said overall international tourism was and will continue to be the dominant industry in 2025. And I wouldn't have said anything about dairy exports at all. And then I would have just said, on the other hand, or however, meat exports is consistently the lowest and is the only one expected to decline. So that for me would have been a more accurate and a more appropriate overview for this. Okay. Let's see. Your overview does not have to mention every single category, just the main things, the most important things you see. And that's probably this thing about international tourism. All right, so let's continue. In 2000, the revenue of international tourism was higher than the other exports at $8 billion. In the following 12 years, the figure grows. Now, let me tell you what I'm confused about. Now you're talking to me about 12 years later. I don't understand why, because here it's just ... Here you told me it was 2022, and now you're telling me it's 2012. So I'm really confused at this point. So in the following 12 years, the figure grew to around 9 billion. Not at around, the figure grew to around 9 billion and is expected to stand at 10 billion in 2025. Good. By contrast, the pattern of meat exports shows a completely opposite trend. 6 billion, okay, 6 billion were earned by selling meat products overseas in 2000. The income of meat exports dropped steadily in the subsequent years. All right, again, you've got a grammar problem here. About 5.5 billion were gained by exporting meat products in 2022, and the income is expected to reduce in 2025 to approximately 5 billion. Okay, so I like that. I like that you decided to use this by contrast and then talked about how meat exports decreased. I thought you did a nice job of that. That's fine. So as for dairy products, the revenue was about 7 billion. Okay. The figure increased, keep it to past tense, increased remarkably and reached its peak. Well, yeah, because it's kind of present time, so it's a little strange. The figure increased and reached its peak in 2022 at 10 billion. However, the experts forecast the revenue will reduce slightly by around 0.5 billion in 2025. Okay, I thought this was good. I thought it was very nice. This one's a little tricky because of those tenses, because of those time, like future, present, and past. But I thought you handled it well. All in all, I thought it was a nice job. Okay, just remember what I told you about the overview. You don't need to include absolutely every category in the overview, just the main ones, and those are usually the highs and sometimes also the lowest point as well. So very good. I think you're at a great point. If you're starting your IELTS preparation, very well. I would like to continue seeing your writing and providing you feedback so we can kind of overcome any of these sticky areas, as it were. So if you enjoyed this feedback, please take a look at some of the essay correction packages we have. See if one of those works for you. I hope we can continue to work together, and I want to wish you lots and lots of luck.